So we're going to get into our first module on many-to-many. So many-to-many is a really interesting megatrend because in a lot of ways it's about the democratization of different industries, which is especially true of the entertainment industry in particular. Now what we see happening at the same time is that people are in a bit of disarray when it comes to their mental health. And this applies actually across the globe as well. 18% of Americans experience an anxiety disorder each year, which actually seems a little bit low to me, but the rates of anxiety and depression and mental health issues are on the rise no matter how you slice it. One particular epidemic that's coming through in the mental health space, and that's a huge concern, is actually loneliness in particular. And there's good reason for all of the uproar and concern about what this might mean for our health. One scientist concluded that loneliness may actually be as dangerous to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So what is the corresponding reaction in the entertainment space? Well, for how heavy a topic it's addressing, we're actually seeing something that's pretty lighthearted. And what I'm talking about here is memes. So what is a meme? Well, you've probably seen memes all over Instagram or all over social media in general. But when it comes down to it, a meme can be defined by my trusty colleague Armida as an inside joke that the entire internet has with each other. And that way it functions as a tool for connection in the online world. One of the reasons why memes have taken off the way that they have is because they sort of interrupt this idea that social media is a place where people go to share the highlight reel of their life without sharing all of the hard work and all the bad things that happen to them as well. That's where memes like these ones come into play, and they really create a safe space and a safe way for people to communicate and connect over the less glamorous parts of their lives. The popularity of these kind of memes have given way to these specific accounts like Emotional Club that are totally dedicated to mental health memes. A quote from a really interesting study that was done examining the mental health impacts of something like a meme was this quote from this girl who says that sometimes memes resonate more with me than my $200 therapy session. Now, this is by no means a recommendation that memes are a replacement for therapy, but it does say a lot about how much these mean to people who are in need and are struggling with their mental health. So we all know that where consumer attention goes, brands will follow. And that's how you end up with things like the Starburst All Pink Pack. Now, where did this come from, are you wondering? It came from memes like this that started popping up all over the place. So if you're a brand and you want to get in on the meme action, so to speak, how do you do so without coming across like fake or phony? Well, I think that the key here is really to understand the underlying drivers of the meme trend rather than trying to directly replicate what it is that you're seeing online. So what are the core characteristics of memes? Well, the first one is that they resonate instantly. They don't take long to understand, they just kind of pop. The second thing is they tend to be universally relatable. Of course, nothing is truly universally relatable, but they'll focus on either, really universal themes or even just the minutiae of life. Thirdly is that they're very shareable because they're compact and they're all, sort of packed away in this nice, tidy image. It makes them very easy to share, and often they're being used as a means for communication in and of itself. So the last thing about memes, and perhaps the most obvious, is that they're incredibly funny. But what's special about memes in particular is that they really speak to a sense of humor that resonates with millennials and Gen Z. So beyond memes, another way in which we see the megatrend of many-to-many playing out is in the world of YouTube and specifically vlogging. So one way that we see this happening in particular comes through in YouTubers like Martina, who is from a YouTube channel called Eat Your Sushi. She and her husband chronicle their lives living abroad in Japan, and for the most part, their content is very lighthearted and fun and fluffy. But at times, they've used their platform to actually talk about more serious issues like Martina's chronic pain and the resulting mental health issues that have come up from that. In this video, you can see that she's kind of breaking down, talking about her mental health struggles and those health issues that have plagued her for so many years. She even goes so far as to admitting that she attempted suicide at certain points in her journey. Now, somebody more cynical than me might suggest that these YouTubers are just making these videos for clicks. It's all for attention. But honestly, if you start to engage with these videos, by and large, 99% of the time, they really just don't want their audience to feel as alone as they once did. Twitch is another platform in which we see the megatrend of many-to-many playing out in a big way. If you're not familiar with Twitch, it is a live streaming platform for gamers, and here are other few things that you need to know. 44 billion minutes of Twitch are watched every month, so it is an astonishingly popular and addictive platform. And 50% of its users spend more than 20 hours a week on the platform. What's awesome about Twitch, though, is that they've been using the platform to actually bring people together and give voice to people who unfortunately don't always have one. So in this video, as you can see, they're allowing and giving a voice to their users who are part of the LGBT community, and they're making sure that they don't feel as isolated as they often do. Many-to-many can actually be the solution to closing the loneliness gap, and it's up to you as to whether or not that actually happens. So that's the end of our module on many-to-many, and a few key takeaways to keep in mind here are that we are in a mental health crisis right now, and people are lonely and isolated and really seeking out connection, both online and offline. Here are a few questions to consider when it comes to our first section. How are you connecting consumers to one another? And how could you better support the community surrounding your brand?